Hello, my wild friends, and welcome back if you've been to my channel before, and welcome if this is your first time. My name is Deanna Rose. I'm just your friendly witch and indigo here in this little carved out nook of the internet. So, what are we doing today? We are doing a reading for Leo season, which I am so excited to do because I am a Leo sun. And my sun sign is in Leo. That is my more dominant sign, really. The traditional, like, people ask, what's your sign? I would obviously say Leo. I was born in August, and I am very excited to do this reading today. I have a couple things I'm trying out, a little new. I brought the cards out already. I did the pre-shuffle and everything like that. I'm also not going to do runes this time around. I'm going to do the tarot reading, but first we'll talk about Leos and Leo energy, and we'll do the cards, 2 oracle cards, and then I'm going to do a dice roll, actually, with my little 12-sided die, and the dice will tell us which aspect of the 12 zodiac houses we can kind of focus on for this season. So yeah, we're just gonna kind of play around here and see what happens. So I'm gonna timestamp everything, this intro, the info on Leos and Leo energy, and then the card reading itself for Leo season, and I'll also timestamp the dice roll. And yeah, we're gonna just jump on in, I think. Again, I'm so excited. I don't mean to play favorites, but obviously as my sun sign, and in true Leo fashion, I love being a Leo. Love being a Leo sun. I love it. So with that, we'll jump into it. Leos are one of the fire signs. We have, what is it? Aries, Leo, and then Sagittarius are the three fire signs. I don't know if I said sun signs, fire signs. So we have the element of fire for Leos. The dates for Leos are kind of, depending on who you ask, but roughly it's July 23rd to August 22nd. That is a masculine sign. It's because it's fire, it's much more active. It's all about action and movement, and all that kind of forward motion. True Leo fashion, of course, seems a little obvious, but their symbol is the lion. It is also the symbol of the crown in some people's opinions. The lion, being, what is the stereotypical phrases? King of the jungle, I'm going to say queen of the jungle, ruler of the jungle, royalty, regal. Again, that's why the crown symbol is there. They have their pride, which is a group of lions with the lion symbol. So Leos are just known for their pride. They're known for their pride, and their ruling planet is actually a star, which is the sun. It's really the only sign that is ruled by a star instead of either a planet or like a satellite, like a moon. So again, it really just kind of speaks to the overall attitude of a Leo, being the only star, being, quite literally the center of our galaxy. And I'm going to get to all this stuff in a minute. But, being the center of the galaxy, everything really does truly revolve around the sun. All the planets and our moon revolves around Earth, but, it's a part of that whole orbit that goes all around the sun. So naturally, that's really the tried and true Leo attitude, is that of a sun. So I'll get into a little bit more facts about Leos here. Their ruling house is the 5th house, which it kind of reigns over fun and creativity, Romance and children also. It's very focused on children, actually. If you have children, or we're all children of someone, so it could be kind of like that child dynamic. Also, with the fifth house, the overall phrase of Leos is I create. If you remember, we went over Gemini's phrase, which was I nurture. So Leos are all about creating and expressing. Self-expression is huge with Leos. Huge, huge, huge with Leos. And so, again, that creativity really comes into play. And especially, being ruled by the sun gives life. The sun creates life. Without the sun, we definitely wouldn't have life here on Earth. So they're all about creation and creativity. The tarot cards for Leos, the tried and true one is the Strength card. Traditionally, it's the woman kind of holding open the mouth of a lion on the card in the traditional drawings. And it really goes and kind of depicts kind of like a more primal way of looking at things, a little more primal. I want to say, again, creativity just is such a huge thing with Leos. Also the sun card, obviously we are ruled by the sun as Leos, so the sun card naturally goes hand in hand with Leo energy. And again, even though I'm talking about all these facts about Leos and stuff like that, this is all basically to say, even if you don't have a lot of Leo in your chart or any at all, if you want to kind of embody that sort of energy, then these are like the things that you could have around. You can, meditate with the Strength or the sun card, or kind of like have it out, or like something like that. You can have the image of lions or crowns, around you. You could do some sun, if you're into yoga, you do like sun salutations a lot to kind of tap into that yoga energy, or do any kind of like sun worshiping, be out in the sun, that kind of stuff. So again, this isn't just for people with Leos in their chart. This is all for tapping into that energy, and even if you have no Leo in your chart whatsoever, you're always welcome to this energy. I say that as a Leo, you are always welcome. And I say that as the reader of this channel, you are always welcome. So moving along, the chakra that Leos rule over is the solar plexus, which is like the belly. I'm gonna try to say it in the Sanskrit way, which is the Manipura chakra. So again, I'm not sure if I'm butchering that. It's very possible I am. Forgive me if that's the case. So colors for Leos are very much bright, sunny kind of colors. Gold is huge with Leos and Leo energy. Red, orange, and yellow. You can wear clothing or jewelry, makeup colors, that kind of stuff, if you wanted to have an Leo energy. What else? It's one of the fixed signs, which means it's in the middle of the three fire signs. So it's Leos tend to have a much more for lack of a nicer word, I suppose, or a more neutral word, a little more stubborn. There's not a lot of give with the Leo attitude. Leos believe what they believe, they know what they know, and even though they're gonna like listen to other people's opinions for sure, it's very hard to sway a Leo. They're not so much go with the flow of things, unless it's their idea to go with the flow. Yeah, the outer influences just don't influence as much, I would say, with Leos when it comes to being a fixed sign. So, if you had to classify Leo as a type of like fire, they would very, very much be kind of like the hearth. It's kind of like a nice old-timey fireplace where, compared to the other fire signs, like Aries is kind of like that initial spark of a fire, like almost like when you strike a match, or a burst of flames almost. And then you have Leos, which would be like the hearth. Typically they can be it's said, it would be a very like regal, fancy, intricate hearth, like a mantle place with a nice, strong fire burning. I would also consider Leos to be more like a bonfire, where it's a very, very strong flame, like continuous flame. And that kind of goes with the fixed energy, where it's very consistent. Whereas Aries have a little more of like an impulsive, kind of like are able to bounce around a little bit more. And then a Sagittarius would be more like a wildfire, where in the case where like with Sagittariuses, they're much more go with the flow energy. Like wildfires kind of can get pushed with the wind and all that, and just can move around a lot more. They're very, very adaptable, and they can kind of move around to whatever place and thrive there. Whereas Leos, again, they just have that strong, consistent flame just burning in the one place. And what else do I have? Let me see. I didn't do this for the Cancer or Gemini videos, but I did decide to, and I'm going to continue to do this for the other signs as well as we get into the seasons. But the types of magic that can be practiced to tap into Leo energy. Again, you don't have to be a Leo to do these things. If you just want to, again, tap into the energy, especially if you want to do it throughout the Leo season, kind of honor the season. These are types of like magics you can do if that's a practice you do. Naturally, solar magic, working with the sun, worshiping the sun deities, that sort of thing. Glamour, again, all about the self-expression with Leos. Leos love to show themselves off in a way, and glamour is kind of all about enchanting, makeup supplies, hair supplies, clothing, anything you can kind of do yourself up with. That's going to fall into like glamour magic or beauty, very beauty forward magic. And fire magic, naturally, you work with a fire element with the fire sign. And chaos magic, which is kind of at least in my experience, is a relatively newish term. I kind of identify myself as a chaos witch, which just means you kind of just make up your own rules. And maybe I'll do a video on chaos magic itself and get into the type of magic that I practice too, but we're not talking about that right now. But yeah, chaos magic is kind of like you make up your own rules as you go. What you say works in your magic practice, just because. So, and Leos are all about following their own rules, doing their own thing, kind of leading the pack in a way. Again, that's why one of the symbols is a crown. They're just very much like, hey, this is the way I do things. It may not follow a certain type of rule or society's rules, whatever have you, but I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do it. And so, along with I'm going to do the shadow qualities of the Leo first. Shadow, unevolved, low vibrational times for Leos. They can really come across as arrogant, if that hasn't come across already. Arrogant, lazy, vain, very ego-driven. The sun represents the ego, especially since it's a very masculine sign as well. They can be very ego-driven and let their ego kind of take over them. Melodramatic, controlling, very high-tempered. Tempers can really burn bright in a Leo. Can ask for help, very appearance-driven and shallow, and they can be needy. Leos tend to, even though they swear they are not looking for the approval of others, sometimes in unevolved or in very low vibrational times for Leos, that energy can just actually really desire, can kind of flip on itself and just really desire the need for approval for others. Again, not dragging down Leos. I mean, I can identify with all these in my lowest vibrational times for sure. I will fully admit to feeling all of those things and or acting on those low vibrational times. But as for the lighter, more evolved, and high vibrating Leos, they tend to be a little bit, they're brave. Brave is a good word to describe it. They're very much not afraid to try new things. They're very loyal. Again, whereas a Leo can be very self-centered, they can also just be so loyal to the people in their life. And even though like being like the sun, like the center of the universe or galaxy, I should say, it's life-giving, and they obviously the sun shines brightest, it's a ball of fire. Leos are really good at trying to bring out the light in the people that they love, or just in others in general. So as much as they want to shine themselves, they want the others around them to shine. They want the best for their people. Lions, again, being a part of a pride, they look out for their own. If you have a Leo friend, you are looked out for, especially a more evolved, high vibrating Leo. Not to toot my own horn, but I think I do very well in the friend department because of this. I'm always looking to bring out what makes the people I love shine, and what they love, I love for them. So, and then with that, they can be very generous and very warm, protective. Again, they really care about the people around them. Who a Leo chooses to surround themselves with is a pretty important decision to them. So when they see someone in their pride, in their circle, hurting or something like that, they tend to jump on the matter pretty quickly. They also tend to be very optimistic. The sun, they're very, very bright, very optimistic, and always, quote unquote, looking for the bright side of things. They tend to be very reflective. They try to know themselves very well, because again, they're all about self-expression. So if you're going to express yourself, you better know yourself, or else it's not going to be very authentic. It's not going to be very true. So, in keeping on the theme of like the crown as the symbol, they tend to have kind of a regal air to them as well. And back, it's being supportive, and yeah, let's see. I really like to think of Leos this way, where they're like the person who is walking around with like the bunch of like confetti like in their pockets, just so they can like throw it out for themselves like whenever they enter a room. But they're also going to do that like anytime like their best friend or like their family or whatever enters the room too. Like they're going to have enough confetti in their pocket to throw for themselves and also everyone else that they love who enters a room. I've personally always wanted to do that, but I don't really feel like having that much confetti in my pocket. Yeah, so that's Leos in a nutshell. I think that's basically everything for them. I think we can get into the reading now. So let me see. I already have these cards pulled out. I have my oracle cards ready to go. Also, I shuffled these and pulled them, but I haven't looked at them yet. So we're in this together. So for the first one, let's see. Okay, all right. So we have the Three of Swords to start. We have the Ace of Wands. Ooh. Sorry, made my whole setup just fall over there. And the Knight of Swords. the Nine of Cups. Oops, I can pick it up. And then finally we have the Chariot. It's one of my favorite cards. Okay, so let's get into this. So, starting with the Three of Swords, I think going into this... Oh, my dog is falling off my lap. My goodness, we're a mess right now. So, I'm just gonna hold my dog. I don't know if you can see him on camera. You can see his nose, I think. Oop, little dog nose for you. Okay, sorry, we're gonna get into this, I promise. Oh, and at the bottom of the deck, we have the Emperor. All right, so let's finally jump into this reading. Okay, so with the Three of Swords, going into this Leo season, I think we as the collective, we're going to be breaking through a lot of old beliefs. We're going to be letting go of a lot of old stuff that really isn't serving you anymore. Whatever past hurts, whatever heartbreaks you may still think about or hold on to or allow to affect you, I think this Leo season is the time to let it go. I'm hearing let it burn naturally with the fire season in Leo. I think it's really time to let go of past pain as much as you can, or at least start that process if you haven't already. Obviously, nothing can be done. I mean, not everything can be done in a small amount of time. Nothing is an overnight fix. Nothing is even what the season is almost about a month long. Like, if you're just starting to let go of things, then it's not going to be the quickest fix. But I think it's at least time to start letting things go. And I think a lot of that comes with being honest with yourself. I mean, we have two swords here, which is air. We have cups and the Chariot, which represents, which is water. And we only have one fire card here, which is the Ace of Wands. And I think that says a lot, where a lot of truth needs to be brought to the surface so that it can be let go, so that it can burn. A lot of truth about your thoughts and your emotions and how they affect you, how they affect your actions, because with the Ace of Wands here, starting to be honest with yourself with how the Three of Swords suggests, it's going to open up a new path for you. It's going to open up new ways of doing things. This is where the action comes in, is with this Ace of Wands, and with being honest with yourself and giving yourself this, speaking your truths to yourself, really. That's going to pave a whole new way of doing things, kind of your approach to life with this Ace of Wands energy here. Let's see here. And I mean, the Ace of Wands is all about creation and addressing the things that have been hurting you is going to lead to so much more creativity, a lot of inspiration, a lot of force in the way of forward motion. I think that's what this Chariot here is trying to tell us too, but I'll get to that. I need a drink of water real quick. I think there's a lot of stuff about speaking truths because it's affecting my throat a lot right now, so. And Houdini is not getting comfortable very easily this time around, so I think that shows it might not be very comfortable at first during this Leo season, because maybe, you're bringing stuff forward into the light, into the firelight, really, and you're presenting stuff to the fire so that you can burn it away. That's what I'm really seeing. Like, this is a spider web that's kind of fanning out behind these swords, but with the lighter kind of yellowy orange at the top there, if you can see it, it's really almost feeling like a light that's coming forth instead. And you're just letting it go. Yeah, you're letting things go. You're letting the poison go. Really, you're dumping the poison into the fire, I think anything that you feel might be like poisoning your mind or your emotions, now is the time to reflect on it. Now is the time to bring that to light. And bringing it to light will spark a whole new way of doing things. Just a lot of good, I think, will come if you take this first step. Is going to lead to an amazing feeling second step. And the next, the Knight of Swords being here, and again, in Leo fashion, Leos love to play with the world. If you can imagine like a cat playing, that's really kind of the Leo attitude towards the world. And going through this process with the Three of Swords and the Ace of Wands, and it's going to... The Ace of Wands is like the sparking of action and of inspiration, but the Knight of Wands is kind of like getting your mind right for all of this. It's not just a spark and then, it kind of fizzles out with this Ace of Wands. Moving on to with the Knight of Swords, it's going to create a new mentality for you, a new mentality and an outlook, I think, on the world. When you start to be honest with yourself, you can then kind of just be honest towards the rest of the world. And I think that's what this Knight of Swords is saying. Look at him. He's ready to go. So it's a masculine figure. They're ready to go. They're ready to take on whatever the world is gonna throw at them, really. And honestly, not even what the world's gonna throw at them. Like what they're going to throw to the world is what I'm hearing. So yeah, just get your mind right. It's the mind that's really coming forward in this reading so far. And honestly, looking at the other cards, that's kind of what it's going to be. So playing with the world is just getting your mind right and contributing to the world and playing and not hiding with the world, not allowing any kind of past influences to affect you so much. It's all about letting that go, getting that drive to get you moving and maintaining that mentality. Ooh, excuse me. So moving right along, this is like the beautiful part, because we have the Nine of Cups next. And this is really how you can express yourself during this Leo season, in which, Nine of Cups, 10 of Cups are normally like wish come true, wish fulfilled kind of energy, kind of cards. So this is like a very truly optimistic way of looking at the world, having your emotions right. We've been working on our mind through this reading and getting your actions kind of aligned with your mind, and then your emotions will truly follow. Just how you're feeling, not so much what you're thinking, like with the Knight of Swords here and the Three of Swords. And then you're going to start to like really feel, I'm hearing like a part of the world almost. I'm hearing like that Ariel song, honestly. But I think maybe it's even like your own world, like your inner worlds and outer worlds are really going to come together, is what I'm feeling, what I'm hearing here. Yeah. Honestly, I feel like this is a very, very positive, beautiful reading. And a lot of wonderful, wonderful things are going to be happening. But you got to take the first step, and being honest with yourself and being ready to let go of a lot of things. And it's going to be a process. It's not this linear journey so much. Like, you're going to kind of start the process, and then you're going to feel lighter enough to kind of spark new motivation and kind of start getting your mind right, and emotions will follow that. That's the linear part, but you're going to have to keep on revisiting this most of the time. You know, it's not, like I said earlier, you're not going to just do away with trauma. You're not going to just do away with, you know, reckless, not healthy thinking right away. It's all a back and forth and a give and take, and that's just fine. That is a beautiful process to be a part of. And if you just kind of let the bad stuff just kind of be what it is, the truth to it, and kind of communicate that with yourself, maybe communicate that with others, or if you are in or have been thinking about any sort of therapy or counseling, I've said it before, I'm a huge supporter of that. I am personally in therapy, and I love it. But again, the honesty and the communication with this swords is going to be a very big part to this whole process, this Leo season. So, and then finally we have the Chariot, which can really go hand in hand with these kind of the Ace of Wands, kind of that forward motion, that forward thinking, because that's what all the Chariot is. It's all about motion, forward moving. And like we do have our crown, because this person's wearing a crown on top of their head, if you can see that. You know, so we have our regalness here during this Leo season, and honestly, I think that's really showing that this all could be done with kind of like this regalness. It doesn't have to be, I mean, you can let it be a nasty process, being honest with yourself with the Three of Swords energy, sure. And I mean, the bitter truth is bitter for a reason. It might not feel graceful, but you can hold your head high during this whole process. You know, even when you want to hang your head low and like you're going through all the not so fun stuff, like you can do it with a sense of pride. I think that's really kind of like where the Leo energy comes into this whole process and kind of ties this all together. You can work through these issues and this mentality and this mindset and letting go with the attitude of a Leo, which is taking pride in yourself, even in the bad. You know, don't just love the good parts of yourself. Love the not so good parts. Love the, you know, what's brought you to this point, like no matter what that is. And it's hard to kind of blanket that in the collective. I know, like, everyone's been through some different things, and some people have been through things that just are unfathomable to the rest of us. So I'm not trying to minimize anyone's experiences here, but where you can find an optimistic attitude throughout this whole process, just engage it. You don't have to force yourself to be happy. We're not trying to push toxic positivity here. I'm not into toxic positivity. But you can take pride in the fact that you're doing the work. Let's just say that. You can take pride in the fact that you're doing the work, even if it's hard, even if it's, again, the nasty process. You can be like, hey, I'm doing this thing. And I just got the chills, like, saying that. So that's for someone, hopefully. But you can just take pride in yourself for doing the work and moving forward, because that's what's going to kind of bring together this, like, the ego-driven stuff. I think that's holding on to the not so fun trauma, you know, hard, bad feelings, anything like that, negative feelings. It's the ego that doesn't like to let it go. So moving through this process, you're kind of like befriending the ego. I think that's what the Chariot here is really trying to tell us. It's like, it's almost like we're befriending the ego, because you can't do away with the ego completely. It's a part of us. It's a part of our psyche. It is what it is, you know. You don't want to get rid of it. You want to befriend it. Kind of, you know, you want to befriend your demons in a way is something that I'm hearing. And to be honest, I think that's where, you know, the bottom of the deck energy having the Emperor here, and below him is the Hermit, so, you know, it's just time to go inward. It's time to go inward and work through this stuff. Work through anything that's lingering for you, because it's just time to do away with it. Again, let it burn, let it burn, let it burn. You can obviously always practice fire safety, please, please, please. But you could even light a fire in honor of doing this stuff, like, or light a candle and journal, that kind of stuff, you know, just the symbol of fire is just a big part of this, even though we don't have many fire cards here. Walking through this entire process, again, with that energy of a Leo, that pride, that like, hey, I'm doing this thing, I'm doing this damn thing, we're doing it, I'm gonna work through these issues that I feel like are just dragging me down. Alright, my cat's feeder just went off, so. Alright, go on, dog. Really, there's been so many interruptions so far, but that's okay. We're still going, and that's what's gonna happen, you know. There's gonna be interruptions. There's gonna be hiccups. It's not just a linear process. You're not gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cool, done. Everything's fixed now. I don't know if you can hear my cat, but she's upset because her food is empty, and I need to feed her when I'm done with this. Where was I? Yeah. There's gonna be interruptions. There's gonna be hiccups. There's gonna be bumps, and that's just fine. You can be proud of yourself for this entire process. Okay, so we're gonna move on to these oracle cards, I think. So these aren't traditional oracle cards. These are actually my Magic the Gathering cards, and I've been hearing about some people using them as oracle cards. I'm so excited to do this. Like, I'm kind of playing around with my Magic cards to see if they want to work with me in this way, and so far it's been a lot of fun, and just I feel like I've connected with my deck so much. So we're going to get some advice from the Sun, the Leo's ruling planet / star, and we're going to get some advice with like moving forward, which I think is nice that the Chariot popped up, since it's all about moving forward. But so first we have a Chaos Dragon, which is kind of fun since we talked about chaos magic a little bit earlier. And then we have the Plains. I'm going to read this little quote on this one. Actually, let me get to this first. So, advice from the Sun. Yeah, I really think this is tying in with the chaos magic that we talked about. And because, I mean, if you're a dragon, you're following your own rules. You are absolutely following your own rules. So move through this whole process, move through this whole Leo season by your own rules. There's no right or wrong way to work on your stuff. I think the only wrong way of doing it is by being too hard on yourself, or not doing it at all, giving up on yourself. Just don't give up on yourself. Yeah, because I mean, look at this dragon. This dragon is fierce. This dragon knows what they're doing. And even if it might not feel like you know what you're doing, all you have to do is just commit. That's really how you do this. This dragon is committed to whatever they're doing. Even though chaos isn't the word, like, it's your chaos. You can love it. You can, again, take pride in it. Like, this is my mess. Like, cool. Like, I'm working through my mess, and it's fine. And it's a process that I'm committed to, and I'm going to do it. So I think just, like, the Sun just really wants you to know that you're okay through the whole process. Like, let the process be yours, whatever that means to you. And so for this Plains card, the quote, I don't know if you can hear my cat, she's like right here trying to be like, hey, feed me. So for this Plains card, it says, you've traced the tensions in 10 towns to the dwindling reindeer populations, but what has been hunting them? You can see it's nice and like shiny too. I don't know if that's like gonna pick up super well, but And again, this is all very much like, these aren't like traditional oracle cards at all. Like, they're not meant to be oracle. These are playing cards. So that's why if you don't know what 10 towns is, it's fine. You don't. It's not super relevant. Yeah. So moving forward, I mean, it's the quote, like, you're getting to the heart of the problem here, and that's what's important. You know, tracing issues in this 10 towns place is like linked to the reindeer population, or what, maybe reindeers are an important animal for you. That could be a guide for some of you, I'm hearing even. So, and again, like, it's trying to make a connection between, or it's making the connection between like tensions and this reindeer population. And then now is the next step to find out what's hunting the reindeer. So I think moving forward, don't be afraid to try to connect some dots. Don't be afraid to dig a little deeper. Just always try to dig deeper moving forward. I think it's time to, dig deep is being a really very prominent phrase in my head right now, is what I'm hearing. And if reindeers haven't been a very meaningful animal to you, maybe it's time for them to be a meaningful animal. I might try to look up what reindeers are in my spirit guide book, honestly. I don't have it right now, so maybe I'll add it into the video or add it as a caption. I don't know. We're already going to kind of getting a little bit long here, but we're almost done. So yeah, all about digging deeper. Moving forward, push a little bit farther. Be safe, protect yourself, but it's time to push forward more. Whew, yeah, that was a good one. I don't know about you, but all right. So finally, I'm just gonna do maybe this dice roll. Might be able to give a little context on maybe where to start with some past issues that you want to work through or something. I'm gonna roll this 12-sided die. There are 12 houses in the zodiac, just like there's 12 signs. So whatever number it lands on, that's going to tell us what house we can kind of focus on for this Leo season. Oh my gosh, we got, I don't know if you can see that. I don't know. It's a 5. It's a 5, which is the house of Leo, which is super cool. Like I said earlier, I mean, I kind of already talked about this earlier. The 5th house is all about fun and creativity and romance. So, you know, maybe you can start working on some relationships or something like that. Or even just like relationship with yourself. It doesn't have to be romantic if you're not interested in that. But yeah, it's all about pleasure, being creative. You can do some inner child work. I'm sure plenty of us have child trauma or issues and stuff like that. Maybe that's where you can start digging deeper. For some of you who do follow or know your birth chart, you can kind of see what signs you have in the 5th house too. That could be kind of like show you a little bit more. That's how you can dig a little deeper. So yeah, you know, I think it has a lot to do with self-expression and hobbies also. So maybe during this whole process, you just make sure to show yourself some love, do the things that you know you love to do. If you're really into knitting, you know, maybe while you're working on this stuff, you can just try to fit in some knitting time. Try to fit in things that really make you happy. You want to make sure through this whole process, you're proud of yourself and you're finding happiness. Oh my gosh, I freaking love that we got the 5th house. That's amazing. I'm so happy about that. So make sure you're just also experiencing some pleasure also, and you're not being too hard on yourself. So let's see, what else do I have on the 5th house? I'm just going over my my trusty lusty notes here. That's one way to say it. They're lusty for knowledge. We'll say that. So, I mean, lusty. Honestly, fifth house also does rule sex, self-pleasure, so, you know, make sure you're getting some loving however you find it, you know, this Leo season. Wow, yeah, I think that's an amazing place to stop, I think. Like, I'm very happy with this reading. I hope you are too. So, anything else? Just take a breath there. We can all just take a collective breath, honestly. Just in. I just heard that Rihanna lyric, "Shine bright like a diamond," in my head, which, to be honest, diamonds don't shine, they reflect. Just a little science fact for you, but I think what that's really trying to say is just, you know, time to dig in through the hard stuff, but also let yourself shine. If you don't have a lot of Leo in your chart or anything like that, like, you're allowed to shine. You can shine so bright if you allow yourself to. We have some shining parts of these cards also with the, like I said, the Chariot there shining around their head. Also have this shine, this beautiful shine around the Ace of Wands. Yeah. Sometimes I never know if I want to like close out a reading or if I want to like have it keep going, but we're getting a little bit on the long side here. But again, not trying to play favorites with being a Leo, but I guess it's kind of natural that I would talk a little bit more. Yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this reading. Please make sure to like and subscribe and comment. If you want to add anything, please comment. I mean, this is all for the collective, so like, feel free. If something stood out to you in a card or anything like that, if you have a special meaning for any of this, like, please comment. Please subscribe. I'm trying to grow this channel and everything, and so yeah, that is officially all I have for you. So thank you again. Please like, subscribe, and comment, and I will talk to you all later.